Hi, this is Joe McClung with FloodGate Medical. Today we're going to talk social media, specifically LinkedIn. You millennials out there are likely smiling and giving me some knuckles that you nailed it, while the rest of you, well, you might be, dare I say, cringing a bit, knowing this is one of those dreaded necessary evils. I promise you, no matter young or old, super social or not, you're going to discover some great nuggets to maximize one of the most important elements in your search. I'm going to make the assumption that you already know and believe that LinkedIn is king of the hill, the Aaron Rodgers of professional networking. You Bears fan might have stopped watching now. Well, the reality is today, if you're a business, you're a professional individual, it is where you go to strengthen your brand, get curated news feeds, generate leads, or just stay in the loop with people in your professional circles. For recruiters and employers, it's even more important than that. It is the place they go to find and engage with prospective talent. The ever so small problem is that there's a whopping 20 million people on LinkedIn. So, how do you get your future employer here to find you all the way over there? After all, they aren't typing Joe McClung into the search bar. No, they are looking for an area sales director in wound care in Chicago. So what should you do to kickstart your LinkedIn game? Let's cover some of the basics, and we'll dig back into more advanced techniques on the next video. To start, add a professional headshot. Hey, this is one here's a really good example. Not too bad for a round-headed gentleman, right? Get this, adding a headshot on your profile will get you roughly 14 times more profile views than if you didn't, and increase your chance of getting messaged by 36 times by those who don't. Do it. But listen, you guys, do it right. The golden rule here is consider how you typically look on the job and go with that look in your picture. I hate to say it, but first impressions are a real thing. If you're using a selfie you took in the car, or a bourbon in hand at the bar, or a stoic Mona Lisa, because I'm not going to smile because I'm so professional, it's just not going to help. Trust me, we see the underbelly of recruiting and hiring, and for decision makers, are literally looking for reasons to cut people. Next, include a short but punchy headline that speaks the most likely roles you'd be a fit for. For example, a senior sales director from a large medical device would want to use something like Senior Director, VP of Sales, Sales Leadership. The reason this headline is so important is that when recruiters are scrolling through candidate thumbnails, this is the only information that is displayed until they click into your profile and see the rest. They won't click into it unless you sell them with your punchy headline. Same thing goes with the About summary. If you checked out our video on crafting positioning statement, you know what I'm talking about. This is where you put a few phrases or short paragraph that really sums up all the best parts of who you are and puts a pretty bow around the top. Check out our resources and we'll include some downloadables on examples you can get inspirations from. Guys, I know the next one is going to seem really obvious. Contact information. Believe it or not, we talk to people every week who don't have their current major city listed due to a move or just plain negligence. You can have the most stellar profile of all of LinkedIn, but if you haven't listed your location, it's worthless. And if you're actively looking, go ahead, add your number and email into your About summary so recruiters can ping you offline and avoid using a much treasured in-mail, which are about as important as rationed as toilet paper during the coronavirus. Moving into the meat of the profile. It doesn't need to be as deep or descriptive as your resume, but it should contain some rich keywords so as to get captured by LinkedIn's algorithms. Again, speaking from experience, when our team is recruiting, we use very specific keywords to find only the people we know will be qualified for the said job. To give you an example, someone on my team might go enter national accounts, IDNs, stretchers, support services. If you work for one of the companies in national accounts but you don't have these terms on your profile, guess what? You're not going to show up. A good exercise would be to take inventory of all the products you sell, the types of facilities you work with, the titles of the customers you sell to, and find a way to include them in your profile. Lastly, let's talk about recommendations. I haven't yet to prove this theory. And I don't think LinkedIn would ever go totally open kimono, but it's commonly held belief that in order to get strong SEO, meaning show up at the top of the list instead of on page 25, you need to have at least 3 recommendations. Not endorsements, actual recommendations. While getting incredible recommendations from high-powered people you worked with is ideal, having at least 3 as a benchline, even from a customer or someone who reported to you, is good enough to crack the algorithm. Make sense? If you're unsure how to go about asking for one, we've got guidelines available to download that will give you some guidance on how and what to ask for. Guys, there's so much on LinkedIn, and this really is only scratching the surface. So be sure to check out our sequel videos that will take your LinkedIn game from good to great.